Good morning, one and all. Today I am discussing about uh, Applied Geotechnical Engineering 18 CV 62 for 6th semester Module 4 Lecture C1 Bearing Capacity of Shallow Foundation. So first we should discuss about what is meant by a shallow foundation and what is meant by a deep foundation. So if a depth of the foundation is less than B, then such a type of foundation generally call it as a shallow foundation. There are some exceptional cases where the depth is up to 5 meter also. So except that in general depth of foundation is less than B, we are calling it as a shallow foundation. So what is meant by deep foundation? When the depth of foundation is greater than B, then it is called as a deep foundation. Shallow foundation is used for ordinary structures, residential building constructions, etc., or where the soil strength is heavy, we can go for shallow foundation. Whereas deep foundation is used for heavily loaded structure like bridges, abutments, piers, or flyovers, metro, monorail construction, piers, etc., where deep foundation is preferred. Shallow foundation. Some of the examples of isolated footing, combined footing, square footing, rectangular footing, circular footing, strip footing, mat footing, etc. are the best example of shallow foundation, whereas deep foundations are the pile foundation, caissons and well foundations. Next we should discuss about bearing capacity. Bearing capacity is defined as the power of a foundation soil to hold the forces from the superstructure without undergoing shear failure or excessive settlement. Foundation soil is that portion of ground which is subjected to additional stresses when the foundation and superstructure are constructed on the ground. Suppose if this is your ground and this is your structure, assume that this is a multi-story building structure. This structure will transfer the load through this interface onto the soil, and the soil should have capability of taking that load, otherwise settlement take place or failure take place. So the bearing capacity means it is the supporting power of the soil against the applied load or excessive settlement. So following are the few important terminologies related to the bearing capacity of the soil. Number one is ultimate bearing capacity. It is the maximum pressure that a foundation soil can withstand without undergoing shear failure. That is, without subjected to shear failure, the maximum load the soil can withstand is called ultimate bearing capacity, and it is designated as 2F. Next, net ultimate bearing capacity. It is the maximum extra pressure in addition to the initial overburden pressure that a foundation soil can withstand without undergoing shear failure. That is, Qn is equal to Qf minus overburden pressure. Here Q0 represents the overburden pressure at the foundation level and is equal to D for a level ground without surcharge, where the unit weight of soil and D is depth of foundation from bottom to the ground level. Safe bearing capacity is the one Qs. It is the extra load the foundation soil is subjected to. In addition to the overburden pressure, the structure can safely take it. On the other hand, Qf is equal to Qs is equal to Qf minus F divided by factor of safety plus Bf. So this is This is the represents the safe bearing capacity of the soil. So what is meant by ultimate bearing capacity? Allowable bearing capacity. Allowable bearing capacity means the maximum pressure the foundation soil can subject it to take in addition to both shear failure and excessive settlement. When only we are discussing about shear failure, it is safe bearing capacity. Shear failure and settlement are discussed, then it is called allowable bearing capacity. So modes of shear failure depending on the stiffness of the foundation soil and depending on the stiffness of the foundation soil and depth, following are the shear failures are recorded: general shear failure, local shear failure and punching shear failure. When a phi is greater than 36 degree, then we are calling it as such a soil will subject it to general shear failure. If it is less than 28 degree, then it is called as local shear failure. In between 28 to 36 degree, we can say it is a punching shear failure. So these are all the typical SBC values for various soil. So soft or wet clay or moderately clay, the bearing SBC is around 500 kg per meter square. With hard rock, it is 33,000 kg per meter square. So some of the MCQ questions are type of foundation, shallow. There are two types of foundation: shallow foundation, deep foundation. Answer is A. If the depth of foundation is less than width of foundation, then it is called as a deep foundation. Answer is B. If the depth of foundation is less than width of foundation, then it is called as a shallow foundation. Answer is A. Ultimate bearing capacity is the maximum pressure that a foundation soil can withstand without the undergoing shear failure. Is A. Net ultimate bearing capacity Qn is equal to Pf plus Q naught. That is A. Safe bearing capacity is Qf by factor of safety. It is A. It is a maximum pressure the foundation soil is subjected to. Considering the both shear failure and settlement is called allowable bearing pressure. It is A. There are three modes of failure of soil. That is A. Type of foundation failure depending on the stiffness of foundation soil also is A. Punching shear failure is very dangerous. It is A. So these are the list of references we are done for preparing this material. So I take this opportunity to thank Department of Collegiate and Technical Education officers and students for giving me an opportunity to deliver this lecture. I request students to go through the LMS content, and if you have any doubt in this subject, you can ask. Thank you.